At 75, Kurt Russell tells truth about Val Kilmer. Sometimes the most honest tribute isn't the one delivered at a funeral. It's the story someone waits years to tell. And when Kurt Russell finally opened up about Val Kilmer, I realized this wasn't really about losing a co-star. It was about saying goodbye to a friend who had puzzled, frustrated, inspired, and amazed him for more than 40 years. Hollywood loved calling Val Kilmer difficult. Kurt Russell chose a different word. Genius. That difference says almost everything. The story actually begins long before Tombstone, long before Doc Holliday ever tipped his hat and uttered, "I'm your Huckleberry." Back in the early 1980s, Kurt Russell had already reinvented himself once. People forget that. Today, we picture the rugged action star from Escape from New York, The Thing, and later Tombstone. But that's not how Hollywood first saw him. He was Disney's dependable young actor, the clean-cut kid, the safe choice. And honestly, I don't think that image ever fit him completely. Kurt was born in Springfield, Massachusetts, in 1951, but California became home while he was still a child. His father, Bing Russell, wasn't just an actor. He'd also played professional baseball before building a career in television westerns. Entertainment wasn't some impossible dream inside their house. It was simply work. By the time Kurt reached 12 years old, he was already starring in television. Not appearing. Starring. That's a tremendous amount of pressure for any kid. For years, Disney made him one of their familiar faces, and audiences loved him. Still, he wanted something more complicated, something with rough edges. Baseball almost gave him another future. He played seriously enough that professional scouts paid attention. But a shoulder injury closed that door. Funny how life works. One injury ended a baseball career and quietly pushed him toward becoming one of Hollywood's most recognizable leading men. Everything shifted in 1979. Director John Carpenter cast him as Elvis Presley in a television film. At first glance, it sounded like strange casting. The Disney guy? Playing Elvis? Yet the performance stunned people. Russell disappeared into the role. He earned an Emmy nomination, and perhaps even more importantly, he finally escaped the comfortable little box Hollywood had built around him. John Carpenter immediately understood what everyone else had missed. This wasn't just another handsome actor. This was someone willing to disappear completely inside a character. That partnership gave audiences Escape from New York, then The Thing. Ironically, The Thing disappointed at the box office in 1982. Today, it's considered one of the greatest science fiction horror films ever made. Sometimes movies need decades before audiences catch up. I actually love stories like that. They're a reminder that success isn't always immediate. In 1983, Kurt accepted another project, Silkwood. Most people remember the film because of Meryl Streep and Cher. But something happened behind the cameras that would quietly shape Kurt's life. Cher often visited the set. She brought along her young boyfriend. His name was Val Kilmer. At that point, hardly anyone outside theater circles knew him. He'd recently studied at Juilliard, becoming one of its youngest admissions ever. He wasn't loud. He wasn't trying to impress anyone. According to Kurt, he simply watched, listened, absorbed everything. Years later, Russell admitted he recognized something instantly. Seriousness. Not ego. Dedication. The kind that doesn't need announcing. That first impression never left him. The funny thing is, they didn't actually work together for another 10 years. By then, Val Kilmer had become one of Hollywood's fastest rising stars. His early performances already hinted at something unusual. He wasn't interested in looking cool. He wanted authenticity, even when authenticity looked strange.